Geek Cypher. We ain't got no music this week.
Coming at you raw.
Coming at you raw, yo, raw.
Wu-Tang.
Welcome to the new year.
Welcome to the new year, 2022, y'all. This is Geek Cypher episode. I'm gonna say what 280, right?
284.
284. You see that? And we have a fluttering cast this week. It's myself that's here but not here. It's our boy Wendell. Actually got the pointing right. So it's our boy Josh D. Down there we got the man oh man, Merc with a MIDI. Mr. Merc with a mouth. So how y'all doing? What's good? What's happening?
Good. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Exactly.
Happy New Year, guys. What do we lots of things to talk about.
Dude, the question is what okay. Man. Do we dock Boba or off the bat?
Go. There's no format thing. I mean, when Brian comes on, we'll definitely be like, what we got to talk about?
Yes, we were very, by the book and everything, sir. Yes, we were. Ignore the kid hanging from the chandelier in the background.
We had no parties while you were away.
None.
But no, man, I want to talk Boba. I want to say, one, I'm just content that it's something different from Mandalorian.
Oh, you're just jumping right into Boba.
I'm jumping right into Boba.
You're jumping right. You're not even going to talk about like a no RIP to Betty, Sydney, Bobby.
Oh, you want to do that at the beginning? I thought we were going to do that at the end.
That was the end. According to this, is the end.
I was willing. No, but
you've got a charter. All right.
No. I think we should do the RIPs first. That was a good call. I'm gonna bow out.
First, I'll say again, welcome to Geektastic Cypher. For those who are, first time here, we're a collective of guys that talk about geek stuff every Wednesday. So you can check us out at all our, ats and stuff, at Merc with a Mouth, at Jaws D, at Action Figure Skinny. You can find us on IG and the Facebook and the Twitter and the Twitch and all that. Happy New Year to everybody. It's a great 2022 so far. A few things that are a little, but I mean, that's usually how January goes. The year doesn't start, at least for me, without a natural disaster, 3 deaths, and a few other things. So
3 celebrity deaths or just any deaths?
3 celebrity deaths. Usually be the brothers. I think one year we lost like Bernie Mac and Bernie Mac, the dude that was on South Park, and somebody else like the same year.
Oh, what's his name?
Mm-hmm. It's sad that we're forgetting.
The guy did Shaft.
Yes.
Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes. I was gonna say.
Didn't even have to look it up. He didn't hear my keyboard go click clack.
My man. So, we this year, of course, like any other, started with some few tragedies. First being Mrs. Betty White, R.I.P. Second being Sidney Poitier, who's done a lot for just actors in general and Black actors and actresses and artists in general. So he's paved the way and done a lot. So a big RIP to him. And then the biggest shocker that comes as Mr. America's Funniest Home Videos himself. That's where I call him for that, because a lot of people do Full House. I'm like, yeah, but he needs to get more respect put on his name for the amount of voiceover he did on America's Funniest Home Videos. And this is raw comedy. So an RIP to Bob Saget. We'll come back to that. We're going to go into Boba Fett, because there's other things we want to touch on, rumors, so on and so forth. But Dave, touch us.
So Boba Fett. I'm going to talk about stuff except for today's episode. I didn't get a chance to watch it. Have you guys been watching it?
I have been, but I didn't watch today's episode because babies.
Yeah. But for me, the thing I'm happy about is that, because sometimes things, if they do spinoffs, it's too much the same. You're just like, whatever. I'm liking the fact that this is a completely different realm in the sense, like, first of all, it obviously being stationary only on one planet the whole time obviously has that type of effect in general. But like, this is like the Star Wars equivalent of like The Godfather or Sopranos. That's what the feel I'm getting out of this over what I think is going to be the long term of this show. And I'm stupid down. I just think it's going to be ridiculously in depth. And I think it's going to go in that direction long term. Unless he gets off planet. If he stays on that planet, he's basically becoming Tony Soprano or the Godfather. I don't know if that's like what a daimyo, because they call him a daimyo or whatever. I don't know I forget the
daimyo. It's kind of like, it's like I've heard it.
Isn't that a Japanese?
Yes,
I heard the
Japanese term.
Yeah. So it's like emperor, and then you have shogun and daimyo and some other stuff other that.
Yeah. So like, I just feel like he's going into like that type of realm with this, and it's going to be interesting, and I think it's going to be interesting to see that, especially on Tatooine of all places, because Tatooine is like been showcased several times throughout the season, the movies and the like various cartoon shows, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a dust planet, but it seems like it's gonna be an interesting planet because it's still a lot of stuff happens because like people can get away with shit there, you know. So, and like so far, like I think the guy's been killing it. The guy who's playing Boba Fett he's no Mandalorian. Let's be honest. I forget the actor of the Mandalorian, but he like kills it. He crushes it. But this guy does a pretty damn good job.
But isn't the guy playing Boba Fett the same dude that played Jango Fett and any of all those?
He's the Fett.
He's the guy.
Yeah, he's the guy. The Fett.
Okay, cool.
He's the Fett.
The Fett. You like how they would say in Trinidad, you know, when you go to a Fett, that's him.
Fett is Fett.
Yeah, you right? See,
Fett
okay.
Is Fett. Hey boy.
Yeah. Hey boy. Oh man. I just peeped the intro discussion, and I'm gonna get back to Boba Fett because I have thoughts. But, hey man, we're still in the pandemic. I mean, we weren't going to just jump out of a pandemic, but apparently our province is wilding.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not apparently, it's been wilding.
It's been wilding, but
it's like I'm gonna put this on the table. What you gonna do? Nothing.
This is teetering on like super evil villainy type shit, like villain, like serious. It's comical to me because I mean I'm inside, I'm on pat leave, I'm chilling. You know. Most people are like, oh, we can't go nowhere. I understand that's been a thing. Winter comes, curfew, you can't go nowhere. Fine. But then Mans wants to go and do all sorts of where it's like, hey, we're not forcing you to do this thing. But if you might depend on alcohol and trees to get through your life, guess what? Without this, you can't do this. And it's like, wow. All right, fine.
But then wasn't the workaround they mail it to you?
Yeah, I mean, online. That was just promoting. Technically, I saw that more as promoting online ad, like
get the weed delivered to your
that's
door.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, they're actually
government means.
Well, that's what, like give them jobs back. That they need a card, they need a driver for that, right?
The post office sends the weed, bro.
They need.
You ain't never ordered trees online yet.
That's so weird.
No,
you haven't.
So weird.
No.
Seriously, Dave?
No.
Why not?
It's weird.
How's that weird?
Remember when the government was like, "Hey, don't smoke weed," and now we're like, "Oh, we'll just hook you up. You know, just ask a man and them, and then he'll come down the street and give it to you."
That's what I'm talking about.
From experience. I don't buy from them. I'm just talking about in general. Like, if you have it, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna go on this little because I don't really promote this, but I'm just gonna say real quick. The streets have been doo-doo. So, 2020 March, your boy got a word of a certain site in Vancouver, and then people just go to you real quick in 2 to 3 days. So the post office got me on that, and I'm, we're cool. But then when the SDQC started to get in there, and I visited them, and their stuff ain't that great. So it's like we can mail it to you, but I feel like they're gonna also like they'll tell you, just really sure, and they're gonna do something, lose your shit. Your shipping you won't get your tracking number until like 3 days later, even though you paid for your stuff. All sorts of just like lazy businessman stuff.
Yeah.
And then who wants bottles delivered to them? Who wants to really see their shame being brought to them? You go in, you get your bottle of Jack or whatever, you leave. You know what I mean? Your little Mickey, you get that up every day, you leave.
So you mean to say they need to do it like those sex stores? They ship it to you in nondescript packaging. You don't know really what it is.
Yeah.
It just has your name and not that same business name on it.
Yeah. I mean, actually, that's exactly what the Vancouver spots do. They'll literally be like, do you not mention any kind of, don't even say a word with W. Just, you're sending this to Tim's Hardware Shop. And when you get this box, it's just going to say Tim's. And then you just open the box and you'll be like, oh, it's not hardware.
This whole thing reminds me of when Amy Poehler was doing Weekend Update on SNL, and then she said, I think they were talking about Amtrak, and they said, Amtrak, the best way to travel with weed.
Yeah, it's kind of close. On top of that, more evildoerism. Well, actually, I believe our health director, he bounced. He said, no, I'm listen.
Yeah.
People are starting to threaten my family. You might be protected, but niggas still know where I live. So I'm trying to leave. And then Legault was like, all right, I will address the public about that this afternoon. And apparently in that address, he also brought up the fact, hey, yo, I don't want to do this because, again, really not forcing you. But I'm gonna have to start charging y'all taxes for not getting vaxes.
That
apparently,
I don't agree with hardcore.
So how that kind of working is that when you're filing your taxes, they hitting you with an extra tax. We're already paying a lot of tax in Quebec, and then just hitting you with an extra tax in there.
And someone was like, "Hey, but is it going to be 5, 50, 100?" He's like, "Well, now we have to be realistic.
50 and 100 ain't too much,
right?" I was like, "Wait, whoa!
We want to hit you in your pockets."
He's like, "I want to make it hard."
So is this going to be a sliding?
Like crack his knuckles, like
we're talking like a 15 hundo.
Is this going to be a sliding scale? Because I mean, like if I'm making 10 mil, 15 is not much. But I mean, if it's an escalating scale of, oh, well, you making 15, well, we taking more.
If it's anything like our gas prices, bro, I'm scared. Because
I
that
remember
shit switches every Thursday.
I remember for gas prices, I switched cars so I could get like regular gas instead because I didn't want to pay the current prices that we have now.
Oh, it's not. Wait, you don't? What you
like? I had like
used to fill with Supreme.
Yeah, like I had a car that was like required Supreme.
Oh shit!
And then like when I was like when I moved into this place, I had to figure out I had to cut corners and stuff, and I switched cars so I could pay like less things on it, and that gas was one of them, and like I'm back to square one.
Yeah, I think my like uncle-in-law was just like, "Hey, you got a new car? Cool. Every now and then fill it with Supreme." I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem, Unc." And then I saw prices and I was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that, Unc. I can't afford that." Oh man.
Well, I remember like the people that ride motorcycles, like their way around it was, "Oh, I got a bike and it's cheaper for gas." And then it's almost like the government's like, "Okay, cheaper for gas, eh? All right, so your license is gonna be more."
That's
so cold.
If you've ever lived in Quebec, that's kind of like what they do. They find out you're having fun, even though under their hard regime. And I was like, "Wait, y'all having fun out here? Nah, we're gonna have to cut that. Hold up,
you're doing okay over there?
Yeah,
we want more of that.
Wait, y'all are starting to feel normalcy? Nah. We're gonna have to cut that out. Can't be doing that.
You don't feel the pressure?
Feel the pressure, indeed. Oh boy, yeah. So people are irate, a little bit. I see this being the one of the when you kind of see the steps crumbling and like maybe before with the first curfew is like, okay, you might get voted back, Shakutami's got your back. Right, and then you go and do the second joint and then they're like, okay, 10 o'clock, not so bad. But then you're like, oh wait, we're gonna just go ahead and like slightly rob alcoholism and potheads. And then they're like, yo, I never vote. Like, dude, do you amount of people that tell me, yo, I never vote, but this time? And you're like, all right. Like, first of all, what were you doing before, buddy? Like, I mean, if you didn't see the 74 seat landslide from 2018 with the Coalition, maybe you should have voted. I don't know. But all them people are wishing they voted now. And I'm seeing a herd of people going into those polls 22 and
I'm surprised that reporters during that press conference, reporters are asking like, hey, remember that bill that you passed where anybody that wears any kind of like religious symbols, they can't work for the government?
Was that the CAC?
Yeah, that was them.
Mm-hmm. Pauline was under CAC?
No.
Okay.
No, this is after that.
So wow, shit. Okay.
Yeah, so that was them, and they did that, and I remember because I got a family doctor, and she wore a hijab, and I'm speaking with her in French, and then like for my first few, like I had two of them, checkups, and then like the year or two later, that thing came in, and I got a call saying like, yeah, she's not going to be my doctor anymore, like she bounced kind of thing, and I'm shit. Finally got a doctor, and I'm speaking French with her, and I'm doing my best doing it, and no, person's gone. So it's like, so you ran out a bunch of people, then we got COVID, and you ain't even going to go an about face on that to get more doctors and nurses and people that we need that are currently getting burnt out.
Well, anybody who can see, I mean, listen, I've read a lot of comic books. He's just cleaning house. He's getting all the people he don't want here the hell out of here by their own choice before he starts putting more and more pressure so that eventually either everybody leaves or everybody gets up and goes see him.
But if he does all that, and all the people that voted for him, aren't they just going to pay all the taxes and have to do everything themselves?
You don't care.
And
you don't care. Listen,
it's not a smart move. But anyway,
they've been running around since 2018. He knows he's out. Like 20, he knows. He knew from like back in June. He's like, I ain't get like I'm 60 something. I'm not trying to do this. Like, let me just get my money in the most corrupt way I can.
Let me sell my house in Outremont.
Right? Right? Let me sell my house in Outremont. I didn't even know he lived in Outremont.
He's gonna move to Florida, bro.
Let him move to Florida. For the fact that he lives
so much people live in Florida. The amount of times my mom and I heard French while we're in Florida is hilarious.
I won't go to Florida just for Florida.
Just listen to other people's conversations. Oh, they said this, they said that. Oh, okay, they don't even know. Yeah, we understand them.
Well, is it the type of freedom they have in Florida where they'll just bust off like the wild Quebecois French, thinking nobody's around listening, and they'll say some like questionable stuff, and here you are just like listening, like
yeah, they will complain that there's not enough French in Florida.
Imagine you're walking down the street and a guy gets upset at you and they're like, "Esti," you turn around, you're like, "Tabarnak." They'll be like, "Oh."
You're one of us?
Yeah, exactly. We didn't know. Come over here. Have a beer.
I feel bad because it's like the audacity a little bit to be like, there's not enough French in Florida. It's kind of like
there's too much Spanish in Florida.
Right? It's almost like no one told like French people or even Quebecers in general, like, hey guys, listen, like you're not everywhere, huh? Like you're just here, and maybe a little bit in New Orleans, but really just here.
Haitians here. This is weird.
Yo,
Haiti's right there, man. What do you want?
You just go over there.
You think Haitians are gonna? You think Haitians want to come all the way up to Quebec? No, they're gonna be like, okay, I'm where I'm comfortable. The weather's the same. It's not that crazy. It
doesn't fluctuate. My 2016 car won't randomly not start at -30 weather just because, despite being 2016. You know what I mean, like just whatever.
I heard about snow. I heard about snow. Not dealing with that.
Nah.
People dying in snow, cutting off their fingers and everything in snow.
Imagine explaining that for the first time. Like, so snow is, and you explain it, and it's like, nah.
Yeah, I'm explaining any of this to somebody who's like, what? Oh.
That came up in a Discord I'm in, and so I think it was somebody in America asked, do I ask about it? And then I put the GIF from the Dewey Cox story. You don't want no part of this. And they're like, okay, noted.
No, okay, cool. Yeah. How y'all feel about them kids who partied on that plane and then who couldn't come back home?
Lol.
I think that's
lol. That said lol.
That's it.
I think it's fucking dumb. I think like overall, like, because like I don't
know. They got gypped into doing that. They're like, yo, guys, go party. It's whoever busted out their phone. Someone should have grabbed Jonathan and be like, hey, yo, dude. Like,
I don't know, man. That's like, it's all scams though, right? Like they didn't do any of the passport things or anything like that. They circumvented the whole process and stuff, right?
I don't know.
Word? I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Hit me with that knowledge,
controversy about it is, or one of the controversies about it, because there's many, is whoever the organizer is, who's also facing potential jail time.
Good for you.
Is so this I don't know. We're just gonna call it Party X because I don't know the name of the organization. But Party X basically got a bunch of people, said we could get you onto the plane and whatnot, and one of the selling points was like, apparently, like you don't necessarily have to have your passport, like your Vax passport and everything. They're like, yeah, cool. Then everyone gets on the plane, and then the stewardesses realize what's going on, and they're like, yo, like we don't want to be near you if you guys aren't vaxxed and stuff. Like, they have families and stuff. So it became the cockpit was closed. All the other stewardesses went all the way in the back. And then you have to understand, like, you have a bunch of people, like, I don't know if you guys have been in a plane a long time, but like to get a lot of people to get up and then migrate to a center part of the plane to also party and jump around.
Yeah, it's not really good
not
for
a
balance.
Smart idea.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they did anything to put themselves in danger, but I'm just saying based off of the photos, like you saw a lot of empty seats and you saw everyone like
in the middle
middle, right? And in my head, I'm like, so I bet the stewardess are also trying to tell them, like, please go back to your seat and stuff. And everyone's like, whatever. And then, and then some people were like really, really stupid as well. Like I know one girl was like a girl who was like was going to get a law job and was in like some type of college or whatever. And she got kicked out of college.
No, you not.
She got kicked out of college.
Out of college.
Or whatever she was doing.
Yeah.
Because she was part of it. She didn't have her passport or anything. I think some of them did have COVID. And I might be wrong about the COVID part. I might be wrong.
No, one of them is quarantining in
Yeah.
Punta Cana right now, or wherever they went,
Exactly.
Cancun,
And
because
this
they have
girl
COVID, tested positive.
when they told her to put a mask on, and there's a picture of this.
Mm-mm.
Apparently, she put a G-string on as a mask instead of like. So it also show like and this is all live, right? So you have to realize, like, I don't think whatever thing happened to her, I don't think it's necessarily the fact that. Well, don't get me wrong, I don't, because she didn't make the organization of this party, right? But she still participated in it, and
Right.
when being put the spotlight on you specifically, you weren't too smart about it.
Yeah.
Because like anyone who is against you on this, and at this point you're going against like committees, I bet that you pissed someone off saying, "Well, I'm wearing a G-string as a face mask."
Yeah.
I've seen dudes just wear like a scarf over their face, and I still be looking at. I just look at people weird now. I just literally will give you the hard like put through my mask, because it's kind of like, it's been 2 years. It's been a year and a bit. A year and actually now 10 months. Which actually flashing to my next troll, which won't be nice and people will hate me for. But yeah, it's been a year and 10 months. You still don't really kind of factor in how to properly do this thing. I'm seeing
just keeping the nose down, keep it down your nose, like
so
here.
I'm just like, we're at this point because we're at this point, and it's going to be a far journey for us to reach back, quote unquote, whatever normalcy is. But
all this has made me realize how much people did not actually pay attention in high school science classes. And
I feel like it's all the kids who just like skipped physical science, who would be like, I call it the equivalent of old man yells at cloud, because they're all on Facebook with like their upside down Quebec flags, being like, all right, and wake up and schminna man. I'm almost like, I don't know who's listening to you in your thread here, but like it's the same 30 people who are rooting for you, and none of y'all are doing anything. Yelling at a cloud, yelling at the metaverse ain't really rebelling. If you guys want your rights back, y'all need to go out in the streets and go out to Outremont and maybe do something. I'm just saying that. I'm just throwing it out there.
Living there no more.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, listen, again,
well out of there.
As I've said in random times,
the house did sell.
So quickly too.
He's not living there no more.
He got out. But I mean, wherever mans might live, or wherever people might hang out, or politicians might do politicking. All I'm saying is somebody tried for Madame Pauline for lesser shit. That's all I'm throwing out there. Yeah. So if people are
don't say anything like that.
I
saw the pitchforks coming for somebody I used to work with in real time.
Bro.
And then someone tried to catch me out, and I was like, I ain't answering that email. I ain't answering that. Catching me.
Oh, okay.
And his thing was just a joke. And even like they read it on the radio and it was a joke. The police went and investigated, saw it, and like, this is a waste of our time. And the only people that kept harassing him was probably people on the internet and reporters.
Bro.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not actually going to direct people in that direction. I'll just say yelling at a cloud ain't going to do much. No.
Please do not.
Please don't.
I'm not, but I'm just saying.
Stop it.
Oh, man. Wow. I guess we can kind of turn this into what we watched while trying to
forget
about our,
yes, please.
That was an interesting COVID update. That's what I'm going to call that.
It's the best damn COVID update.
It's
messed up, so we can't do nothing.
So just to clarify, whenever Quebec is in the news, it's never good.
No.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yo, man, remember pasta?
It's never like, we did something really good. It's always like, oh boy.
But you guys know what I'm talking about.
Quebec influencers.
Pasta, right? We know about Pastagate. Literally, we are the laughing stock of the world most of the times. We're just that parody country. Like, wherever Borat's from, we're that now.
You know that like that gif of the person of the guy looking out his window where it's snowing and he's eating ketchup chips, and it's like Canada looking at the US. It's usually like the world looking at Quebec like, okay over there.
We're not okay. Help us.
We're not. We're
please
really not.
Help us. Everything's messed up. Just help us, please. Get us good TV, something better. I don't know. Jaws, what'd you watch this week?
I've watched Archer season 12.
Let's go. Give me that Archer, because I haven't watched Archer since Archer Vice.
Oh wow.
Where is he at now? What are they doing now?
So I think last season and this season he came out the coma.
Okay.
And he's just kind of getting back acclimated. He's walking around with a cane, so walking around the cane, but he's still, you know, Archer. He's still doing his thing. So in season 11, it was showing that everyone had moved past Archer. So Zero became like the best agent for ISIS and everything. Well, they're not ISIS anymore, but you know, obviously. And Lana married a very older guy, and you know, everything's going and going. But now Archer comes back, and he's just kind of, because he's Archer, dismantling everything, because he's like, no, you guys moved on without me, no, and so it's like he's kind of disrupting everybody's like nice flow that they had. And then in this season, it seems like, no, because Archer's back, it's not necessarily his fault. Everyone has their own little issues that they still need to get through and stuff like that. So that's what's been going on. One of the guest voices is Eric Andre.
Oh goodness!
So he plays a scientist that they have to save and get back his like machine that he's working on and stuff like that. He ends up getting amnesia, and then as he's starting to piece back together who he is and what he is, it's almost like he's kind of like Krieger. So him and Krieger start bonding a lot.
Oh god!
They go back to his place, and you see like he has like a bunch of cool guitars on his wall, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I was into guitars and stuff." And he's like, "Wow, this is a sick axle you have over here." They start going to different places. Like they end up in England, and like Pam and Rach. Is it Rachel or Cheryl? I keep forgetting her name.
Cheryl. I'm gonna say Cheryl.
You're not my supervisor.
I'm gonna say Cheryl. Yeah.
So her and Pam are kind of like the comedy relief. They always kind of pair them together to do silly things together and stuff like that. Lana is dealing stuff with her husband. Where
is the kid still around? Is their kid still around?
Yeah, their kid's still around, but like you don't see the kid. You don't see
the
daughter. You don't see the daughter. Yeah, in season 11, the daughter gets kidnapped. Lana and Archer had to go save her and stuff like that. And she's older. But I don't think she knows Archer is her dad. And they talk a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, because Archer was in the coma, so she had the kid, and she was in the coma the whole time, right?
For the whole Jesus.
He was in a coma for a while, so she ends up like getting older, and he finally comes out the coma. You know.
So in Archer world time, how much time has it been since he's been in the coma?
Oh, I forgot. Maybe it's a few years for sure.
Wow. Okay.
It's like a year or two, and like it seems like, and I think in season 11 they mentioned that his mom comes and checks him like every day. You know, that's her baby, right? So she comes and sees him every day. So yeah. And at the end of this season 12, Mallory ends up like retiring.
Okay.
She ends up retiring, and then she ends up being with I guess the boyfriend she had that had his own like car dealership and stuff. And so they're chilling on the beach, enjoying each other. And then they kind of say like, in loving memory to the voice actress who passed away. Basically, she passed away last year, Walter.
Oh yeah.
So that was her last season. So they kind of gave her like a good send off, you know. And I think if I remember right, the guy that played her boyfriend, the car dealership guy that she ends up being with at the end, that was her actual husband. So whenever they bantered, it was like,
actual banter,
them bantering and having some good timing and stuff.
That's sick and a great send off. Shouts to that show for I could go back and watch it and know that it's still going good. Like I haven't heard anyone say like, "Oh, Archer is trash now," which is like, So.
No, I still had a lot of belly laughs. I still had to pause, collect myself. Breathe and then continue watching it. Like there's still a lot of craziness going on and stuff like that, but yeah, Archer's still great.
Very dope. Very, very dope. Oh man, like I haven't had much time to really watch things because naturally the child has been a little bit sick, which is now passing on to myself. Fantastic. Haven't been sick in a year, and of course my wee little one gets it to me.
Enjoy the rest of that. The treachery of children.
No, I ain't treachery of children. Listen,
I want that to be the name of the episode. Treachery of children. I'm writing it down.
Hey man. When she gets older and she has to mix and mingle with other kids and she gets sick, and that's the end of that's normal. That's normalcy. And then you realize, that's what daycare workers and teachers have to deal with all the time.
Well, that's the thing. Well, Danny being an early childhood educator, we've dealt with that. I've gotten sick from other random kids. I've kind of gotten used to it. What with this situation, which shouts to with the whole daycare situation, which I'm not touching on, but shouts to the to the parents who are like, I need to bring my kid to daycare. I can't take it. My kids are crazy, so on and so forth. And I'm just like, yeah, but nigga, you decided to have these kids. Like, if daycare did not exist, what would you have done? Yeah. So I'm not going to be one of those.
These kids are wilding in these streets.
Getting wild in these streets. My child being as lovely as she is, eventually I will get the hang of the whole sickness and how to deal. But imagine yourself having a 5-month-old who's been breathing from her nose from the beginning of her existence.
Yeah.
To get wild congested.
Oof.
Dude. Yeah. And she's a Leo and she's vocal. She does not like being sick. She does not like being sick. She does not like me wiping her nose. She doesn't like me putting like the little sucky thing in her nostril to suck out all the gunk. It's like, and the thing is,
she's very lucky because old school.
Let them sit.
No, you would have to make a seal on your kid's nose and suck it out with your mouth. Because you didn't have that little sucky nose thing. There was no technology that wasn't invented yet. Remember, parents love their kids. Remember that?
Yeah. No, I love my kid. She spat up in my mouth today, and I laughed that shit off. Like, it was like whatever.
You're lucky I paid for this food.
It's like, oh, okay, that's cute. It wasn't food. It was snot. It was super gross. But like, so the 2-3 times we're trying to remove the snot from the nose. Her hand-eye coordination, again, she's 5 months, but super advanced. A lot of people say that, but like, she is really advanced. Like, most kids would just like barely babble and they could kind of figure out how to like, oh, this is in front of my. No, she's the Matrix out here. She is ducking you and being like this and doing this onto you and stuff.
She getting her Wing Chun on,
cuffing you in the face when you hold her down.
Yo, I saw that video of you doing the beatbox. And she's just like, yeah, I'm getting the beat on you.
Bat. Yeah. So imagine that full force, and she's mad at you. So she's just like, oh, you trying to come at me with the sucky thing again? Bat. So all right.
You don't hit her with swaddle. You don't hit her with swaddle.
She hates swaddle. She doesn't like her arms being confined at all. To the point where we have to get her swaddles that only do the legs. Because if we do the arms, she'll get out. She'll get out, be in her crib, roll out into her stomach, and do a full like downward dog and look at you and be like, "What up?"
You gotta stop her from watching UFC and all that stuff. She's learning all the outs.
Yeah.
She's learning all the escapes.
This is the wrestling and
2K19 in front of her, not helping. I'm sure, definitely not, because she's studying the matches. He's like, "Oh yeah, okay,
that's the figure 4. Okay, just turn over. All right, I got that.
Arm bar on me. So again, I'm running on like no sleep. About 7-8 hours in the last 48, but baby's feeling good. She's not as congested. She's realized, oh, the sucky thing is helping me. Cool. You may pass. You may continue.
I'll allow it.
So, but we have been watching. Okay, so one thing that I'll touch on. Uncle Drew. I watched that today.
Uncle Drew. Okay.
What's that?
Uncle Drew is a movie with Kyrie Irving, Shaquille O'Neal, Reggie Miller, Nate Robinson, and I can't remember her name, but it's gonna bother me.
NBA All-Stars.
All the NBA All-Stars and one from the WNBA. And essentially it's a play on the old 7-Up or commercials, or is it? Yeah, 7-Up commercials where Kyrie would go to random courts in the States, decked out as an old fumbly old man, and break niggas on the court. Break them. Like kids would be like, he'd be like, "Oh, you old whippersnappers, you don't know anything about this game," and you would have some idiot be like, "Shut up, old man! You don't know what you talk about," and actually try to challenge an old man to a one-on-one basketball game.
Yeah,
not realizing it's Kyrie Irving. So when the man steps up and he's hobbling, he'll hobble and he'll kind of fake dribble and then like kind of mess up. But then he turns up on you, and then it's an and one video, which essentially he breaks your ankles. He dekes you so hard you just fall over it. But it's an old man. So they just made a whole movie based on this with Lil in it. Tiffany Haddish, pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Oh, it's actually good. Okay, that's good.
It's actually it's like a solid. It's basically okay.
There's old grandpa or bad grandpa, or
there's bad grandpa. Picture dodgeball but with basketball. If you've seen
That
Dodgeball,
sounds.
movie.
Oh, I know. Okay, now I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's like at first it's young and then they're old. Yeah. I know.
Like
exactly.
it's kind of like that. It's more or less, except for like it's just Dodgeball has this kind of like goofy parody about it where you don't think that the story is actually going to be any kind of good, but it is kind of good because of like the togetherness, and you learn of like team members and so on. This has the same thing where Little Rel plays a coach just trying to catch his break, get $100,000. He recruits this old man team because his old original team left him for the shitty coach, and then they get together and then they beat him. And it's like, the buzzer beater ending where like it's down by 2 points and there's 30 seconds left, and they're gonna win. So it's just a feel good movie. It's not like everybody dies or something like 300. You kind of feel like depressed,
where you're like, yeah.
Oh man, man, no, just no. Another movie that made me feel like that, though, I think I saw Long Story Short.
What's that?
It's about a man who the night before his wedding, and all these actors, I cannot remember their names, so I'm sorry, but he was in the show Roadies for a bit, and that definitely can't remember his name. But night before his wedding, he gets a gift, unmarked gift. It says, "Don't open this shit until the next day." Clearly opens it, and then a flash happens, and he wakes up, and it's a year later.
Oh no.
Okay, so it's like Groundhog's Day, except for it's like super so like he just wakes up a year later in his house where he was just about to get married to this woman. Now they are beyond married and they have a kid. So she's like, "Oh, you got to go wake up with the baby." He's like, "Baby?" And I'm like, "Hey, I know how this feels, because that's how I feel every morning." where I'm waking up and I was like, "Oh snap, I got a baby!" Oh, what? Damn. Yeah. So so he does that, and then the next year goes by, and like the kid's like, one, and then another couple of years, and it keeps going and going and going. So he finally kind of gets like a hang of it. He's like, okay, every time I go to sleep, I wake up and it's a year later. So he links up with his boy, his best friend, who was his best man at his wedding, and he's like, listen, this is going down. You don't believe me, but I need you to meet me here, the exact same spot every day. Mark it in your calendar, the exact same spot every day, and you're going to see that it's a year later. So that happens throughout the movie. Come to find out, he goes 1 year to meet up with his boy, and he calls him, and then the phone goes, doo-doo-doo. The number you're trying to dial is not in service. And I'm almost like, oh man, this movie's about to do something crazy.
Oh no.
The thing about it is, he'll go forward in time in his life. The events will actually happen. He'll have no recollection of them happening, but he is active in his life, just like, driving, just like, yeah.
Oh, so it's like he's doing his life, but he has no memory of what just happened.
No memory of what happened. So
it's
imagine
like a
just
whole memento.
Yeah, a whole right. Okay, so he goes through. He literally pulls out his phone and goes through fake Instagram on his phone, and you just see like him with the best friend, and then like the best friend in the hospital, and then like him wheelchairing the best friend, and then like best friend with like a skin cancer thing, and then like him trying to blow up car. You basically, since you realize that his best friend died. His best friend within that year got skin cancer. You took care of him, died a whole bit, and then you're out here left by himself. So I was really like, if this movie ends like this or close to like this, I'll be very, 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 very upset. The way it went was, and for you, I know you. I'm going to spoil it all.
Spoil it all. I don't want to
watch
this movie. I do not want to watch this movie. But here's what happens.
He's at the graveyard of. He's at the grave of his best friend. Mad at dude, like, yo, man, why'd you die? like, wait, okay. He's like, why'd you die? So on. Some lady rolls up on him. She's like, oh, so I imagine, she kind of tells him like something that only he would know. And he's just like, how'd you know that? How do you know any of this? He's just like, oh, because I went through it myself. It's like a gift and a curse. He's like, what do you mean it's like a gift and a curse? She's like, well, before I got said gift, which they don't tell you what the gift is until the end of the movie. He's like, until I got the gift, I was about to get married to this gentleman, and then all the same stuff happened to me, and time flash forward. He's like, okay, so what'd you do? How'd you get back? Like, what happened? She's like, well, I didn't really. He's like, I just ended up not marrying the guy, and I ended up falling in love with somebody else. She fell in love with a woman, so on and so forth. Turns out she died, and then she fell in love with another woman. And then it brings him, he's like, okay, but like, this is great, but what does that have to do with me? So on and so forth. She's just like, oh, I won't mention this part, but she mentioned something that like gives them the idea of what it is. Turns out the gift was like literally a can and string. Don't ask. Don't ask.
Okay.
Yeah, terrible. He
what?
Yeah, don't ask. He ends up running back. He ends up running back to his now ex-wife's place because I guess within those times of him flashing through those years, he might have been a little bit absent. His wife might have left him. He might have lost contact with his kid. All sorts of depressing stuff. It's like Click, but super Click. It's weird.
Super quick.
It's super weird. It's like
Super
you know how
quick.
Click starts off good and then it gets super depressing.
Yeah.
That's where this movie went, but so much faster. It was really, really weird. Anyways, he ends up going back to his ex-wife's house. He's like, "Hey, do you have that gift that was given to us that like the night before our wedding and stuff?" For some whatever reason, she has all those stuff from the wedding night in a box. She brings it out to him, and then she's like, "Oh, by the way, such and such and I, we broke up." He's like, "Oh." He's like, "Yeah, he thought I was still in love with you." He's like, "Oh, that's peculiar." He's like, "Yeah, very peculiar." Of course they talk. He goes, "Hey, why didn't we ever like get back together? Why don't we get back together?" She's like, "Are you crazy? That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. How could?" He's like, "Yeah, but it could work now." He tells her the whole story. She doesn't really believe him. They kiss. They kiss and hug, and then time shifts back and he wakes up in his bed the day after his wedding and everything's normal. And that's when I walked away. I was like, nah.
Oh wait, so it's he had a bad dream.
No, all that shit happened, but he just got back into time.
And now he's young. Sorry, one question I have to ask.
He didn't age. Really.
When he's time jumping,
yeah,
is everyone else getting older, but he's not?
Everyone else is getting older, but it's just a year. So he looks like he's getting, but he's not.
I mean, like, for example, if he doesn't age,
mm-hmm.
like, sorry, correction. I have a question. Another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How many years pass between the first year and like, or how many days pass? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how far into the future does he go?
Well, like, okay, how far into the future?
Yeah,
I'll have to wiki this, but
because I'm just saying, like, because if he's 25 and he doesn't age, and they're like 60, and he looks 25 because he's not aging. I mean.
There you go.
No one asking questions?
Sorry. So it goes, when time-poor Teddy wakes up in the morning after his wedding to discover that every few minutes he's jumping forward to the next year of his life, he must use every precious moment wisely to keep from losing the love of his life and learn to love the life he's losing. Trapped in a cycle of time jumps, transported another year ahead every few minutes, Teddy is faced with a race against time as his life crumbles around him with the help of his best friend, Sam. Sam dies. Teddy tries to piece together where it all went wrong.
Spoiler, not spoiler.
And as his life flashes forward before his eyes, Teddy must learn how to love. Anyways, long story short, Sam dies. Some random old lady who has nothing to do with anything gives him the idea of what's the totem that has him doing all this to bring him back. My man goes, once he gets back and realizes everything's good, he calls Sam. He's like, "Hey, Sam, listen, you need to go and make an appointment on this day to see a skin doctor. And you need to go back every day on every year, like on the same day every year. You need to go back until they tell you have cancer." Essentially, like that's not how he exactly worded it, but I'm almost like, so you're basically just telling your best friend that he has or gonna get cancer. Super dark. I don't know. Then he goes and gifts the stupid can that was like the totem that did this to him to his ex-girlfriend. Why? Not even explained. This movie, it's a Netflix movie. Not
maybe because he's like, this sucked. I'm gonna make her this bitch. Like,
I will
vengeful.
I will just say it stars Rafe Spall and Zara Newman and Ronnie Chang, and I'll just say go watch this movie. Long story short is
that sounds like a GIF I saw on Instagram where it's this woman getting up all happy, like and it says, when you wake up and realize it's 2008 and the last 13 years of your life was just a dream. And this girl's like, yeah, she's like waking up, yes. I'm like,
2008 was not bad. I wait, no,
that's what this movie sounds like.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, but
it's not now. That's all you need to know. It's not now,
bro. Listen, I don't know. I don't think we knew each other in 2008. Did we? No, we didn't.
I don't think so.
No, 2008 was weird.
It's only when we started working in the same place.
Yeah, not trying to go back then. I think I'll cap at like when we met. So what? 2017. That's what I'm willing to go back to. I'm everything started. Everything coming up Millhouse 2017. Before that, I was 2008. I was living at my parents' house. I think I might have moved out once 2010 and then came back. I was broke. No, I don't want to go 2008. 2008.
Yeah.
Baggy jeans, nigga. No, we don't want
Baggy jeans.
no, we don't want to do that. You remember rope chains? Like, sorry. You remember black dudes wearing rope chains? Remember Party Like a Rock Star? Remember all those weird star t-shirts and skull shits we used to wear?
Oh, yeah.
Remember jewels and skulls on t-shirts? Nah. 2008 was whack. I'm trying to bring that back. Oh my gosh. Fitted hats that were like this on your
Yeah.
that again. No, man. Everybody looking like good stuff. Okay. No sense. Oh man. But on a positive note, I did start the new season of Cobra Kai, I started finishing the last season of Cobra Kai and then getting into the new season. I think it's losing its thing.
Really? I saw that the new season they're bringing back the cartoony bad guy from the third movie. And I was like, what? They brought him back?
Yeah, but like that's their shtick. Like they're just bringing people back.
Why not just do it? If they're alive, bring them back. If they could bring Pat Miyota, I would say yes, do it. Bring back Mr. Miyagi.
You're right. That
when are you gonna get the chance to do it? Yeah, when are you gonna get the chance to do it?
So
who else are you gonna get to play the crazy bad guy?
So like where I left off, I know this is not a part of the new season, but where I left off at the end of the last season, he just hooked up with the kid's mom, and then he gets an email from his ex-girl from like Karate Kid, whichever. And I'm like, you're really gonna go and first of all, like you're the sensei to this kid. You made him a badass, and then he ended up in the hospital. Then you trained him, like you kind of helped him walk again, and then you're gonna hook up with his mom, who is like of Latin descent, so she will cut you. She will cut you, and then you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go have a coffee with my ex-girl who I stalked on Facebook, and nothing's gonna come of that. So I didn't even kind of finish that because I was just like, I just see bad things happening from that. And yeah, here we go. We got our boy Lee J's gonna help us, and he says, "Well, I saw the whole thing. Cobra Kai now. If Hilary Swank could be no, do not, no.
No one liked the next Karate Kid.
Nobody wants to see Hilary Swank in there. I mean, maybe, but I think that's all they got. Basically, they're gonna keep going on.
Imagine they get Hilary Swank.
They'll do it. They'll do it.
Not above her.
What's Hilary Swank really doing?
That's what I'm saying. No offense to her.
No offense to Hilary Swank. She's done a lot of things right now, but I mean,
Netflix
she hasn't done anything in a while.
Netflix money is Netflix money. Peppermint. I remember Peppermint.
Yeah, I think that was her, right?
No, that was
no,
that was
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Ben
Female
Affleck's,
Punisher.
that was Ben Affleck's ex.
Oh, Jennifer Garner.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. My bad.
Nah,
See, I'm terrible.
No, the last thing she did that was crazy was that boxing thing, no? With Clint Eastwood?
Oh, Gone Baby Gone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Hilary Swank could go ahead and jump on there, and that's when it would hopefully be over. I hope they cap this show at season 5 and don't push it, because it's less teenage kids beating each other's asses in high school, and now it's really just like melodrama and teenage angst and a kid with a red mohawk who's pissing me off. And yeah.
Well, how much are the old originals, like the old cast, like kind of taken over the story? So like the senseis, basically the senseis of both new Cobra Kai and like, have they taken over to all the story? And it's like, oh, this was supposed to be about the new generation, but you kind of just hijacked it.
I feel like it's a mix of both.
Oh, okay.
I feel
they have enough time to tell all that story because this show.
I guess they tried to. I feel like they did, but it just felt a little cloudy to me. I don't know. I'm getting like with Ralph. I don't remember what's his not okay. Ralph there's the original like Miyagi Karate Kid. His daughter, she's annoying me. There's the kid that they tried to take into their home, who's the next dude's son. He annoys me. Like a lot of the new kids are just like, yeah, man, y'all need to get those kids out of here. Like, what happened? There was the one girl who was on the show, and then she just never came back after season 1. The black girl. You know what I'm talking about, Dave?
I don't watch the show.
Was she the one with glasses?
You championed the show, didn't you? You didn't? Was that Toby? I feel like I thought
wax on, wax off, my guy. No.
Somebody like watching it on YouTube Red or something like that back in the day.
Well, I mean, the two main dudes who would vouch for this show aren't here this week. So all I'm going to say is, let's just end this at season 5 and call it George. Because yeah, there you go. Wow, wow, wow.
Bold statements.
Wow, that's a really bold statement, but he's not at all lying. He's very close. Yeah, it is really just Degrassi, The Next Generation with like super fights and no Drake. Yep, just not down. Not so down.
Oh, I forgot to mention another show I'm watching on Netflix is F is for Family, the final season. But I have like 2 last episodes to watch to close it out. But it's been going really good.
How many seasons do they have?
I think it's 5. I want to say 5.
Okay.
Well, let me double check here.
I remember watching season 1 and 2. It was like pretty good.
Yeah, it's 5 seasons in total.
Always been solid.
Yeah, and the last episode I watched, they kind of closed off the story with Smokey. So like, you know, there's like a guy that drives around delivering either gumballs, like he fills up the condoms and he's like poking holes in condoms and every other condom and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so his story kind of gets wrapped up. He feels really bad for what he was doing. And you know, and then at the end of the episode, it shows like, oh, Smokey Greenwood was played by Michael K. Williams. And you're like, oh, and you feel all sad. And you're like, you're laughing at this character who's doing so good. And like,
damn, man.
You know, loving memory of, and you're like, oh, man.
Smokey, yeah.
Michael
K. Williams. That's good.
Because I'm trying to figure out, like, that's not Phil Lamar. That's not, like, that's somebody else. Like, I know it's some other black actor. And then so you're just trying to put your finger on, you just can't because the voice is not familiar, and it's because it's somebody that you wouldn't hear in cartoons that often.
Damn, Kevin Michael Richardson's out here still getting work.
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, and
wasn't he
my T-shirt for Archer? I forgot.
My friend has the exact same T-shirt. It's amazing.
This is how you get ants.
Yeah,
that's great. That is fantastic.
Did you get Ripped Apparel?
Yeah.
We're both sporting Ripped Apparel. I got my X-Men Futurama going on.
Nice.
Oh, wow. I've got, you know, just a regular ass T-shirt of.
Get out of here, Skinny.
New Mutants, number 1. New
Mutants. I thought he was gonna be like a regular ass T-shirt. Like, what are you doing?
I just got no T-shirt on. Another show that I've watched or binged or caught while the wife's binging it, because that's what we're doing now. And I haven't banned her, but I've told her, you cannot watch Seinfeld without me, because we are going to watch it from season 1 till the end. Because what I like about Seinfeld is their loose continuity.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Callbacks. Because when you go from episode 1 and then Jerry meets that girl, and then like episode 3, they go on like the weekend away, and you're like, I would never notice that if I just watched them.
Well, it's like the dad's wallet, man. The dad's wallet happens episodes. So the dad thinks he loses his wallet at a doctor's, and he thinks that the doctor steals it from him. Several episodes later, like, you're not thinking about it. I think it's like right at the end or near the end of the episode. Jerry randomly sits on his couch and he pulls out the wallet. He's like, my dad's wallet. And then like that's how it ends. Like, it's stupid random.
Did they change the father? Because in the first episode, I'm like, that's not his dad.
The season 1, his dad is not the same person.
When do they change him?
Literally right after. He only doesn't have, like, his dad changes the second that episode happens. The next episode, it's a different dad.
Fantastic. So Seinfeld's great, but we've been watching Everybody Loves Raymond, and why do I feel like Raymond was on for 10 years?
Wasn't it on for 10 years?
Yeah,
no, 5 seasons.
Really?
Thank you.
Oh, you know why? Because you would get the new episodes. You would get the new episodes on maybe like CTV or something, and then you would get like after the Simpsons play on like ABC, they'll be showing reruns and syndication. So it was always in syndication. So you thought it was. I thought it was 10 years.
Nah, bro. I thought it was like long. So long. When I saw Netflix for like 5 seasons, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? Actually, no, sorry.
No, that's not everything. That can't be everything then.
Okay, no. Netflix is juxing us. I just looked it up. They got 9 seasons.
I was about
Netflix only has 5.
Right.
Okay, so this is even funnier. So we're watching the show, and I'm almost like, man, baby, you flew through this. We only have like 1 season left, and it's like classic sitcom TV. So you got your 26 episodes. So I'm seeing every last episode of the season, they do a flashback. So the flashback of season 5 is when their daughter's being born, and because Ray's going to like a father-daughter dance, and I'm like, oh, this hits home because I'm eventually gonna have to do this really, really, really. I'm not gonna say the word terrible shit, but you know what I mean. Like I'm excited, you know, and it ended so poorly. Like it was just like, oh, that's it. It was just like a regular episode. But to me, I thought that was a series finale. So I was like, what the like I was mad. I was like, the fuck? Like you hold on. First of all, everybody loves Raymond. Funny, not that funny. His father is the best part. His brother, a little bit annoying. And Marie, they probably should have done something else to switch her up because I was kind of like, yeah, you barge in, you have beef with Deborah, so on and so forth. It just keeps going around. But I was just like, this show was like so renowned and everybody loved it. It kind of give me more.
Well, no, it was more like the 2.5 Men of its time. It's the
it was in that era.
It was like the show that everyone watched. It wasn't like, and it was like everyone older watched, you know. It wasn't like, it
was the Frasier of its time, I would say.
Even though Frasier,
but like less like political, but how the audience that would watch it is the same age category.
It was, you know? Very like, of its time.
I would say like how Modern Family was big. And everybody watches Modern Family, and it got all the awards and everything. But like everyone that really liked certain stuff, like people that were a little bit younger, like about our age, they would watch Community and be like, "Yo, did you see Community?" And that was how the callback and this and that, blah blah blah, and the evil. But like Community came out around the same time, but like Modern Family always get all the
because I never got into Modern Family. I think that's the next one that I really want to like go from start to finish because I was just like, well,
it's pretty good, honestly. That one I enjoy, but like the last season is very much a wrap up season. It has that feel to it. Okay.
I like Modern Family, but I start kind of getting a little classist about it.
I know what you mean.
I'm like, how has this family got 2 ovens in his house?
Oh, word?
how much money are these people making? This guy seems like he's not making a lot of money, but he's making money. Like it's like
some of their like how are you doing this and still having like you've wasted a day with your son doing the most useless shit in the middle of the week. Like, don't you have a job?
I love that.
Like how do you get money? Like you know?
Okay, so the guy that's a lawyer and his husband have the shittiest house among everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
This is weird. This is a little sus. This is a
little sus. I love it when they depict things like that. They're just like, you know, we can't survive off one income, and meanwhile they got like a 2 garage door house.
And the dad's rich off of doors.
Oh no, it's closets.
Oh, sorry,
closets.
Does it really make it that much better though? Like it's
they live in California. That's like, inexpensive. You have a house in California, motherfucker. When you watch it, you're gonna be like, oh, there's
No, but you gotta understand. Okay, I just factor up that in the States they have these big old houses because people rent houses like we rent apartments up here. So that could be that. And that's just that's what helps me go to sleep at night.
Well, it's also because they're, especially back then, I would say, like their housing market's like a different price range. It's ridiculous. Depending on where you are.
Or maybe they bought it because the people before them couldn't afford it, and it's after the bust.
Oh, what? $2? Let me get this house. Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, back to Raymond. I recommend it, but if they put up those next seasons, which Netflix, I don't see why you just didn't give it to us all at once.
I'm trying to remember if that was a CBS show or not.
It was a CBS show. So it went from 96 to 2005. So that perfect threshold of y'all can say whatever you want to. Nah, you can't say that. And you see it. You see it. You see Lee go like, because Frank is the guy, right? So Frank's it says. So Frank is like the old man stuck in his ways. We'll say whatever until about 2002. And then you're just like, Frank, you can't be saying that kind of shit. Like I think they were like trying to make fun of Raymond because they thought, you know, like they made a gay joke to Raymond, and I was just like,
And then what about the Raymond's brother? My brother's tall. He's so tall.
Robert is the most annoying character on the show. He has so much like inward anger towards Raymond, and every time he's trying to like announce something, people like the running jokes, like when he's trying to announce something that's going good for him, they'll just like cut him off, be like, nobody cares, they're pregnant or whatever. Like I'm surprised he didn't off himself as a joke in the show because like He just goes through it every week, and then you're like,
Lost himself.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on, Robert, you can't be doing that to yourself. So
poor Robert.
Exactly. It's a poor Robert.
I've been trying to get my girl like into Seinfeld, so I'll watch like random clips. So like like George with his wallet.
Yeah,
this is a
the
friend,
big folded
an organizer.
sitting like this.
It just explodes on him. Festivus, like looking up
Festivus
Festivus and everything.
You should do the marine biologist where he tells the story about the whale at the beach.
Oh,
That's one of my favorite George moments. It's just like the sea was angry that day. Like, he starts going on to the tangent. It's so.
What's the one I showed her? I showed her the one with what was it? The one where George asks Elaine for the for a Christmas card, and the Christmas card was by accident her bust shot.
Yeah,
which is literally her boobs, and she just grabs his face and shoves it in her breast. Like, there, here's your stupid Christmas card. You happy? He's just like walking around all messed up. He's like,
what happened?
Is hilarious. That is too good.
It's good. It's
what's
great.
It called? But something else that I wanted to say that I watched was I finally got to see the new Ghostbusters movie.
Woo!
Afterlife,
Talk about
yeah.
it.
That shit is pretty damn good. I'm not
glad to hear.
I like.
They deserve a win.
Did you guys see it at all?
No, I didn't get a chance to see it.
No, I did not get a chance.
So like, they do a good amount of callbacks, and they do a good job of like explaining like what happened in the past and where people are now, and like how they made the connection between like this random family and Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they did a pretty good job. Obviously, there's a bit of a over exaggeration with like what people might do. Like, for example, there's like this kid who I initially think he's 17 and he's turns out to be 15, shows no like forms of like special intelligence, and all of a sudden he's the one fixing the mechanics of the car so that it could drive, which I'm like, that's a little much. Mind you, his sister is a genius because they're the family's related to what's the smartest guy on the group again?
What's his name? Wi-Fi?
Peter.
Egon.
Yeah.
Egon. So they're related to Egon.
Yeah, they're Egon's grandkids.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So the youngest one, which is the daughter of this like only mom,
single mom,
single mom scenario. She's like clearly like Egon's like granddaughter, even with how they design her clothes and what she wears and how she is, you're like, okay, you're Egon, that's fine, and all this stuff. So it makes sense, like, okay, maybe their brother got some smartness rubbed on you. That would be my only real complaint of like, this is like added, like over exaggerated, but like they do a lot of good homage stuff. All the cameos that happen all make sense. Dope. And because I don't want to spoil much, the after credits scene, how they open up the concept that there could be more movies that could be completely not related to this, but have more Ghostbusters movies happen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you need to tell me. Come on.
I think they
I can tell you the spoiler because it's an end credit scene that's like, if you guys don't mind, I'll tell you. Sup, sir?
So much purple.
Yeah.
The lighting.
It's a lighting. I put purple for royalty.
Ooh, shit.
Bringing in the new year hard.
What up, everybody? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Ghostbusters sucks. No, I'm joking. I loved it.
No, do tell me that end credit scene.
So basically what it is like throughout the movie you find out that what's the name of the guy who's not a scientist? Winston.
Oh,
damn, that's rough.
Yeah.
What's the name of the guy who's not a scientist? Ouch.
No, it's true though, but he becomes
a businessman would have been a better way.
He becomes a multi-billionaire after giving up the Ghostbuster thing. Like they address that.
Winston's rich?
Yeah, and at the end,
the movie ends with him like owning a tower or something, and
he buys back the station.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the old station. So he buys back the old station and he brings back the old car, and he's like, I'm gonna bring this back, So he's gonna be like funding.
Man, they just wiped out that. Wow, they just wiped out that other Ghostbusters movie, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that was a different universe because all the guys came back and they're all completely different.
Yeah, but a lot of the people are pretty upset though because they were saying that what the Paul Feige was saying, not Feige, Paul Feig, F-E-I-G was. Yeah, he was pretty upset about the fact that they were releasing the ultimate set without that movie included because he was just like, you guys should be releasing all the Ghostbusters as part of this, even if it's not part of the universe. It's the ultimate edition. But
he was a teacher on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Boy, if you don't shut up,
honestly, I kind of agree. Like, just
I know
everything together. Like, come on,
yeah.
That's like, who are you really gonna piss off now? Like, come on, you're getting an extra movie.
Name a movie that came out that's part of a franchise, but because it was so ill received, it was kind of like, because they do. You know
I would have said
Tokyo
Thor: Dark World, only because in Endgame, Endgame, or no, Infinity War. They're like, it's important. See, it's important. See, it's important. And it was because the writers of Dark World wrote that movie as well, and they're like, no, our movie's good. Shut up. It's important.
But I get it, because it's almost like putting together like the ultimate Home Alone set, or the it's like putting together the ultimate Die Hard set, putting in Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, and then like Live Free or Die Hard, but like the really bad one. So like A Good Day to Die Hard.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Like the one with Kevin Smith
Justin Long,
right?
Justin Long, Kevin Smith.
You keep this Kevin Smith one. You ditch the last one because the last one's not even a Die Hard.
Isn't it A Good Day to Die Hard? The last one?
There's two. There's Live Free, Die Hard, which is
that's
the
fourth one.
And then the one where he tries to pass on the baton. It's
to
not,
his son.
Yeah, it's not a Die Hard movie.
Exactly.
There's no McClane in that movie.
That's what they kind of did.
Is Bruce Willis not in the movie?
No, he is, but it's
not the same character. Like it's you can watch it and it's like it's definitively Bruce Willis. It has no trait of the character beforehand.
Newsflash: Bruce Willis has been playing Bruce Willis since like 1984.
Thank you. I'm happy someone else said it.
He's not the best actor. Last Boy Scout, Die Hard, and all those other movies.
I'm not saying he's the best actor, but I'm saying he at least does there's a difference between John McClane and Bruce Willis. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
When he slightly gave it down, he put effort, and then he rode that effort. Sure.
Okay.
I'm trying to find that movie he did that he got to direct.
Was it Red?
No, not Red. Way
Red's
before
kind of
that.
fun.
Red's kind of fun.
It was in the 90s, early 90s.
Oh yeah, also Uncle Drew's like
Hudson Hawk.
Oh, that's what I thought you were talking about, but I didn't want to say it because I was like,
Writers Bruce Willis.
Hudson Hawk. Doesn't he play like a slapsticky character? He
plays a slapsticky like thief, like Lupin, like thief kind of thing.
Yeah. Brian, what'd you watch this week?
Oh wow. I don't even remember. Oh, I watched that new show Cleaner or Cleaning Lady. Is it what's it called?
Cleaning with Electra?
Yes.
Okay.
At least you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed. The first episode was cool. Second episode was meh. I don't even
think going back to the MCU. She don't have to work.
I hope you know what? I honestly, as I was watching it, I was just like, please cancel this show so she can go back to the MCU.
What do you mean?
Like I didn't.
Canceled.
Yeah, it's Fox, right? It probably got canceled before the first episode aired.
He's like, hold on. Wait, you have a new show? No, you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Cancel your shit. Right
yeah, and like I'd be down if they tried to spread, like, you know, kind of stretch out the story a little bit. But you know that thing they usually do wherever you have TV shows set in the world of corruption and like the mob and stuff. After a while, you start to see the cops like trying to infiltrate. Within the first episode, you get introduced to the cops that are trying to infiltrate, and it's like, oh well, this is boring. Like you guys could have at least give us a couple episodes where the mob's running the mob and no one's they're not even looking over their shoulders because they just don't give a, you know. But instead, you already have at the end of the first episode that we have to be thinking, oh, they are watching them. It's like, man.
So that's weird. I thought the way they would have
cops are watching every criminal organization all the time.
I thought the way they would have done it was like, the mob's running everything for the first few episodes, and then maybe like episode 6, you realize, one of the guys you really like in the mob is actually cop.
Yeah, even if you did that,
great.
but instead it's full on. First episode, it establishes that she used to be a doctor, but she's a cleaning lady illegally in the United States. She has a kid who's a bubble kid. She wants to take care of her bubble kid, so she's staying here illegally, trying to get him help. She witnesses a murder. Instead of getting killed, she tells them how to clean up the murder scene so that they won't get caught, and then they keep her on as a cleaner. And you're like, cool. Like now they're gonna tell her, you're a cleaner, you work for us, or we kill you. That's pretty much the vibe. But then in the second episode, the guy who's threatened to kill her and doesn't like her, out of the two guys, like one guy's like, no, I want to keep her as a cleaner. The other guy's like, we should have killed her in the second we realized she was there. You already killed the second guy. So now the first guy's the only one there. The cops were already introduced at the end of the first episode. You've already gotten rid of a threat. Like, it's just like, what? This is so fast. This should have at least been, like Jaws was saying, like 2 or 3 episodes, but nah.
No build up. It's because they probably don't see themselves having any kind of like second season to like, let's just wrap
Is it on Netflix?
No, Fox.
Because I was going to say they'd be... Oh, I mean, it's Fox as well, so they're just scared.
Well, that's what we were saying. That's the joke that we just said. It's going to get canceled before the first episode here.
Super canned.
Oh, you know what people can watch though? In the history of black comedies,
Don't
like
Look
we
Up?
used to always have back in the day, we got Grand Crew. I don't know if you guys mentioned that.
I've seen you posting about that. I'm kind of like, all right, what's this?
Grand Crew is pretty cool. Mr. Terrific from Arrowverse and Nicole Byer star as siblings who have a crew of black friends, and it's a show about them. So it's like Friends, but better.
Oh,
hey, Living Single.
No, see, I didn't say it's like Living Single, because Living Single is already the bar.
Yeah,
and they're not as good as that. That's why I said Friends.
Does Living Single still hold up today?
Yeah, I rewatched it with my girl and loved it.
Hold on. You have a hard time getting her to watch Seinfeld, but you just threw her into Living Single. She's down.
Yep. Because remember, Living Single at what it is at first is more of a woman's show. It's more of like, I think I remember the way she described Yvette Brown. I think the creator of the show described it was in Jungle Fever. There's a scene where there's like a war room where all the women are talking to each other and trying to figure out stuff. And oh no, you should do this, you should do that. She's like, what if we took that scene and made it into a show where it's all their friends and they come home and they talk to each other about their problems and work stuff out and say like, yo, you should do it like this. Or if I was me, I'd be like, and that's how that kind of went off. And then they got the 2 guys that live upstairs kind of be like, okay, we can't just have only women. We got to have the guys come in, but they'll come in here and there. They won't just be the center of attention all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Man, I really slept on that show and I had a chance to really watch it all the time.
Rewatch it, man.
I think I will.
Naughty by Nature shows up.
Yes, I do remember that. There are many cameos. There are many cameos. I'm gonna.
Quinta has a new show. That's the other one.
Who?
Quinta Bronson, black comedian, has Abbott Elementary, which with Homeboy, Everybody Hates Chris Kid.
Oh, okay.
Co-star.
I haven't seen him since he got his face ripped off on The Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of cool to see him because he's doing a good job.
He was on Whiskey Tango, for a bit.
Oh yes, Jaws with the
comedy, the comedy of the CIA agent versus the FBI agent, and he was like he was a hacker or something.
He was
a hacker, and he was on like he ended up getting dragged into their thing.
Another show that got canceled before the first episode.
But I think there's like 5 episodes of it out.
Yeah, ABC burned them off real quick and then canceled it. But it's because it was the girl from The Walking Dead, Maggie, and Scott Foley. No, what's his name? Which I don't remember the guy, but yeah, it was the guy from Felicity, who's done other stuff since then. But that's all I remember him from.
Because I remember seeing, I was like, I want to watch this, and then it's like gone. And I'm like,
no. in true TV fashion, let's cancel this immediately.
Oh man, damn!
We didn't get 1 billion people watching. Cancel it. It's like, guys, that's nothing gets that many views anymore. You guys have to wait.
Y'all need to chill. Nope, I'm good.
But yeah, that's what I watched recently. Sitcoms.
To follow up with Dave on his Boba Fett, I didn't watch the 3rd episode, but to circle back. The first episode, second episode. Listen, can we just do the flashbacks? That's what I care about.
Thank you. That's what I said.
Bro,
I would watch
about
the show if it was just the flashbacks of him surviving with that. Someone posted that they made what are those people called? The
Tusken
Raiders. Yeah. They made them so lovable.
Someone said, I care more about the Tusken Raiders than I care about the entire trilogy, like sequel trilogy. And I was like, I gotta admit, like the way they're telling the story, it's just him communicating with them going, like just making crazy noises. But you're still getting the gist of like, oh, that's it. I think that's that person's partner. That's a kid that meant something to somebody.
Yep.
He protected this person. That person, like you see them mourning death. He really is teaching them a lot, and that's super interesting. The flashbacks.
I just want them to take off their masks, but like at the season finale, just season finale. Just and I'll be like, oh, y'all don't look all crazy underneath there. Like imagine just like a Aryan dude. Like
have we ever seen what the Tusken Raiders look like under
I don't think so.
I googled what they look like, and I've seen comic book images. Sometimes they have like the scars, sometimes they're like it's just different depictions all across. So there's no definitive what they look like underneath. And I was like, okay. I liked when they robbed the fuck out of them fish people.
Yeah.
And then I liked it when they took off their masks. I'm like, oh, you're a cute little fish person. Yeah. You look so mad right now. Yeah. You're a cute little fish person.
And we want you guys to walk all the way back. And they're like, we're gonna die. It's
fish,
desert.
Dude. We're gonna die. He's like, you can have water from the melons. Almost like, man, I ain't giving no. He's like, I'll give you each a melon. While the Tuskens are all like, no, my train got robbed by a bunch of sand. I mean, you know what I mean? No, but like,
how you really feel?
No, but listen, if I train of water and I'm a fish person, I need this, and it gets robbed. I'm like, God,
big facts. It's just like, wait, so you guys have been surviving out here on no water?
Just desert.
We are fish people who had to have a full tank of water on the train.
Literally travel with it.
And you want us to survive on the melon while you guys who don't need the water
don't even know what to do with it.
They remember when they puncture the hole and it's spilling out? They're not even collecting all the...
I'm like, no, you're wasting
what are you doing? You're wasting so much.
I would have loved to see Boba Fett turn around and be like, guys, chill.
He should have just put his finger like in the hole just to like stop it.
I'll do like a very old school vaudeville joke, just like, and then another hole pops up on the other side. Like, get his leg up there, like, get the leg.
No, because then he's just like, and then they're all doing it.
I love when he taught them to ride the motorcycles.
Yeah, that
killed me because immediately like two people die.
Yeah.
You're like, you clearly didn't get enough lessons because they're like you're all like riding. You're like and then like one's just taken out. You're just like, okay, so there's three of you now. Nobody even shrugs. Everyone's like, let's just keep going. If I was one of the Tuskens, I'd be like, yo, Bubba, like, can we just not do this?
Oh man, that's
maybe a little more training, guys.
Maybe a little bit more. So yeah, more flashbacks. I loved it. It's good. After this, I immediately want more Mandalorian though. I don't care about Andor. Don't give me that. I don't want to see that dude again from the first Rogue One.
Oh, Rogue One. Yeah.
I didn't like him. I didn't like
really?
The lead dude who was like, I didn't like him. And I'm kind of glad that he died because he was a dick.
What was he? Nice. The Spice Rider?
I mean, war is not about nice people, man.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
seriously,
this is supposed to be a dude that I'm
not about nice people.
Remember, Han Solo,
right?
He's a dick.
Yeah.
Even Harrison Ford knew that.
Yeah,
like, this man should die.
Yeah,
he should legit die. No, we're gonna keep you around because we got toys to make. No, just write me out. Put me in the carbonate. Rent me the hell out.
You're right.
And then they made toys of him in the carbonate, and he's like, "God damn it! You guys are gonna make toys out of anything."
Han Solo got his comeuppance in that movie, in the new trilogy movie. He literally got his comeuppance. He's like, "Oh, yo, you still out here owing people money? Seriously? Your ex-wife is running the rebellion, and you still out here owing people? Who's still trusting you?"
Chewie.
Chewie's ride or die.
Did you guys talk about the Chewbacca? What are they calling him? The Black Chewbacca?
What are they calling him?
Someone said the Black Chewbacca should be called Tupaca.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I saw that on
so terrible.
Yeah, Black Twitter's crazy.
Black Twitter is wilding.
Black Twitter.
The thing is, you guys, they brought that guy out of the continuity that they discontinued, right? Like they were just like, no, this don't exist.
Is that where okay.
Yeah, he's from the comics. That was canon. That wasn't canon because Disney said, nah, that ain't canon. But now you're just gonna go pick him. And everyone,
it's not that it's not canon. It's
legacy. Legends. That's it.
Yeah.
Legends.
So they don't exist, but tales have been told. So they may not exist. So that means to say it's just them saying we still own all this. If you like something, we'll get it later.
We'll just go and bring it. That's the biggest flex because they just like it was just super casual. Like, Black Wookiee.
Yeah.
And for those who know, people was like, oh, they used to ride together. Oh shit! And you're like,
when I went online, the reaction was like, yo, you see this dude? You know who he is? And I was just like, he's like, yo, he was a former slave, and then he did this, and then he's like one of the biggest bounty. I was just like, oh, okay. And then someone's just like, yo, Chewbacca and Tupacca, and I was like, nope, this is Black Twitter.
So
going crazy right now.
in the Star Wars fan universe, that was like the biggest pop. Like if I was going to use a wrestling term, that was like the biggest.
Yeah.
And then everybody else, Tupacca. It's like, dude, this is important. This is really important right now.
Can we be serious for a second? Can we chill, please? Yeah, no, that can
we put some respect on his name?
Nope, it's gonna stick. Okay. It's gonna stick. He's gonna be Tupac Shock or whatever his name is. It's gonna be that because I don't remember his actual name.
I have no clue what his actual name is.
Call him Black Wookie.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's birthed from Black Twitter, it'll soon be everywhere.
Canon. Yeah.
You know how we do on Black Twitter? We just make things canon, even though it doesn't make sense. It's canon. So.
Like Omarion as the name for Omicron.
Listen, man. I've seen that, and I'm just like, no, it's not.
Yo,
come on, guys.
That was from what was it? I remember Mad Skills year wrap up had that.
Yeah.
It honestly, it spread everywhere. I didn't realize people. I thought it was a little bit of a joke because I see it here and there, and then even Omarion like posted like I'm not a virus or something, like leaning into it. I was like, yo, you people are wild, but it's funny. I mean, he's smart about it. Instead of trying to fight it, he like leaned into it with the joke. Because we all know what happens when you fight it.
Well, just like Terrence Howard.
Oh, what is
with the Mang?
Oh, yeah. Is he leaning into that though?
He did one video for it and he just like left it alone.
Yes. He performed with 3-6 Mafia on Versus. He leaned all the way in. Like, he's a rapper now. He's like, fuck that. I'm Terrence Howard. I'm gonna go get me this rapper money.
That is amazing.
And sing Hard Out Here for a Pimp on a Versus, and it has nothing to do with me.
That's good. That's a good flex.
Super good flex. Super good flex.
We got a Grammy. Remember that, people.
Straight up. That's how they proceed.
I just have one question for you guys. Did you guys see the Batman got its rating? And do you guys think a PG-13 would ruin it? Because I don't know
what was it supposed to get? What did people want it to get?
People were hoping for rated R.
Why? No,
I think they saw him just beating down a dude.
Yeah.
And then Catwoman be like, yo, you need to chill, dude. And they're like, yeah, that's an R.
Well, but I mean, rated R, it just means like there's just gonna because it could still be bloody and intense and stuff. It's just not gonna be nudity and stuff. No?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think Batman needs a rated R.
I don't need F words in a Batman movie.
Yeah, I agree. Because what Logan was rated R, and what was the big major rated R thing about Logan? Just a lot more blood than usual.
It was just an excessive amount of blood.
Yeah,
that's all.
And some of the deaths were a little gruesome.
I did like that about the movie in the sense of like it's not a glorious death. It's just like this is.
Yeah, but let me ask you this:
that's how he feels when he's doing it.
How many times have you watched Logan? All of you collectively.
I've watched it twice. That's it.
Maybe 3 times.
I think I watched it once, but I want to watch it again. But it's just again that towards the end, when it's the slow motion, he's just and you're just like
Or the stuff with Charles when he's like fighting it and going through when Charles has the seizure at the Las Vegas place.
Yeah,
that was great. I thought that was a really good scene.
That was cool.
I think it's a really strong. I think it's a really strong movie. I mean, it's not Old Man Logan what everybody wanted, but I mean. You can't do Old Man Logan with the Fox properties that you have. You got to play with the toys you got.
Agreed.
What I loved about that movie, and I vowed to never watch it again. Like I'm just like, that's a great movie. I'm super sad, never watching it again.
Okay.
But what I loved about that movie is that they gave us the Reavers, except for Homeboy. That was a blonde dude. That wasn't Pretty Boy, was it? You guys, you know the Reavers?
Me, man. Okay. Are you talking about the guy with the treads?
No, that's a Bone Breaker. Bone Breaker should have been in it. I didn't see him. But Pretty Boy was essentially one of the Reavers that was like really pretty, except for from neck down was just robot.
So I guess that's who he's supposed to be then. No,
I was thinking that's him, but either it's him or because he had a right hand that was whatever. That might have been Alexander Pierce or I don't know, who was also in the Hellfire Club. So I'm just kind of like, but either way.
No, I don't think it was anybody from Hellfire Club in there.
Before we get out of here, because it's getting to that time. Real quick rumor that I've heard: apparently, every one of them X-Men are going to be in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I heard that rumor too.
What?
And I don't want that.
Yeah.
What do you mean by what do you mean by every one of them?
Like you're gonna meet the mutants in like
I don't
some
mind.
point mutants crossover and you meet almost all of them.
You know what? I hope this rumor ends up being just like that cameo in Deadpool 2, where you see them behind the door, and there's like, nah, we ain't like, nah.
That was funny. Yeah, okay.
Like just like kind of like you see all the old
all the X-Men are like there,
all the actual X-Men, all the actors playing them, just like, nah, you stay over there.
When you say see them, do you mean seeing all the Fox universe?
Yeah,
X-Men.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, Patrick. Yeah, it's gonna be like what's his name?
Stewart, Ian McKellen. Yeah.
That was the rumor I read too. And Mr. Fantastic from the old Fox movies was rumored to make a cameo too.
I'm hearing everybody's in this.
Yeah, that's the problem. Everyone's just throwing everything in the kitchen sink in at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, because you can, because I mean, it's the multiverse, right? So
yeah.
They're gonna go so nuts with this multiverse stuff that I might actually get tired. They're like, they're gonna bring Amazing Spider-Man 3 and make it. I'm like, don't do it. Just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think you just get a glimpse. I don't think they're gonna get a whole thing, or they're gonna continue off. It's just like, oh yeah, we saw them. Hey, how you doing? Bye. And then move it along, keep it going.
Well, I mean, he's already gone through the multiverse once in his first movie when he kind of like goes through that thing.
Remember, he saw the weird hands, the hands universe.
Yeah, like that was him going through what appeared to be multiple universes as he was like flashing through, and then he comes back. I feel like it's just going to be more of that with him actually exploring these different multiverses. Also, I don't really understand. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm wondering how they're going to connect Peter Parker to this. Like, is this movie going to be interspliced with scenes that should be happening at the same time as No Way Home, or is it? No,
this is the aftermath of that.
This is aftermath.
Yeah, this is aftermath.
Yeah, because he doesn't remember who Peter is.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in seeing that idea of like he's affected by his own spell. So when he's asked by,
oh shit, what'd I do, bro? You don't remember? Nah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm wondering. It's just like, what happened? And then he's gonna be like, oh, the multiverse. Yeah, but why? What did you do? And then he doesn't remember because he erased Peter.
But they brought that up in that movie. Remember the time I did that spell? What? Oh.
But he erased Wong's memory. He didn't erase his own. This time, even
but
he said, even I won't remember.
Yeah.
Like that's why he says it's good. Like, So that's what I'm saying. I'm looking forward to the movie where he doesn't even remember why the multiverse is damaged.
I hear rumors of him forming the Defenders, more or less, but like Defender Strange with the ponytail, they blatantly showed his toy already, so we know that's coming. But then apparently he's gonna have a team in this, and the team is gonna consist of different Fox people, America Chavez, so on and so forth, and that evil Doctor Strange from What If is like not the main villain, but like close to.
Yeah.
So all to say, Brian, I'll let you do your thing with the closeout because my intro was terrible. So it was so shambly.
What was it? I did.
Don't watch that back. It was kind of bad. It was like,
Oh, I mean, the only part I heard because I heard the beginning where you guys were just like episode 280. I was like,
no, I realized we're 278. Yeah, I just looked. I'm like, shit, we're just jumping ahead. I'm sounding like Joe Budden on my own shit. It's terrible. Don't know what it is.
But I feel like I didn't get to listen to the whole thing, but I heard intersplicing pieces and it sounded great. The usual stuff. Thank you guys for tuning into the Geektastic Cypher. We appreciate you guys. It's a new year, 2022. I know. I don't know. I guess you guys spoke about the stuff that happened with the taxes and whatnot. So
yep.
We hit that.
I imagine that if you're someone unvaccinated and worried out there, don't worry. Everyone's worried because he didn't give any information. And I'll say this about the leadership is if you're going to say something as bold as that on the public in a press conference with no information, you are doing a disservice to your community and you are a bad leader.
Wow.
I don't feel bad saying that. That's bad leadership to tell people like, yeah. Because can you imagine if Cyclops was just like, hey guys, we're going to go into this battle, and then just walked away and didn't explain anything. You know,
he gets into a cab.
Coming for your paper. How? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna explain to you. I'm just gonna say, hey, get ready for this, and then walk off. That's what that felt like. So that was disrespectful. So, anyways, but yeah, man, that's the whole show. I wasn't here for most of it. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed the parts that I heard, and I look forward to doing more episodes and 279 and beyond, 300 around the corner, which is wild.
Yeah.
So that happens fast. Yeah, man. We're only what, some 20 something away. Is that Terminator? Yo, we need to start being worried about some of this stuff.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Vigilantes, if y'all want to pop up right now and by all means, just come, please, because
yeah. Oh, and Peacemaker's coming. Peacemaker is about to drop, I think, tomorrow. So if you guys are looking for more, I know. I didn't know it was coming right now. But if you guys are looking for something else to check out that's geek related, Peacemaker.
Eternals dropped today. I'm about to go watch it. So
which one?
Eternals.
Oh yeah. You haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was trending. It was trending.
Enjoy the nap.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Elle, take care of her. I heard she's not feeling well, so
yeah, Lonnie's a little congested, and I mentioned how she's a pro boxer now and can dodge you like this. And just
I heard that part. I heard Neo. I heard a Neo reference in there.
Oh yeah, she could definitely get you. So yeah, I'm about to go try to do that again to her. And with that being said, everybody, thank you for watching. Grizz, Lee J, and everybody else, we appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Yeah, you're gonna play the that.